Hello, people of YouTube, it is me, LittleLPSfan, and yes, Scrubby and I both lived through our surgeries! Yay! A lot has happened in the past couple months, so this is just going to be a huge update video.
Boo!
But first, let's start with the dogs. So Scrubby's neutering went perfectly fine. Everything was as it should have been. They actually didn't even give him a cone of shame, you know, those things.
Put him in the cone of shame.
I do not like the cone of shame.
Because they were like, oh, he's not trying to lick himself or anything, so it should be fine. And guess what he did as soon as he got home? So we had to keep him from licking, but we did, and at first, like, the whole right side of his male part was very swollen, and it looked not good, but he took his pain medicine, and soon the swelling went away. Hi, Bailey. The swelling went away, and he's perfectly fine now. No having babies for you! But after he had his surgery and I had mine, which we'll get to, we actually took in all of our other dogs to have their teeth cleaned and, you know, pulled if that was necessary. But Scrubby, since he's young and full of beans...
You're so full of sass today.
You are so full of beans.
Ah, come on, man!
He did not need any dental work at all. His teeth are good. And Bailey here, his teeth were also good, weren't they? What are you doing? Are you trying to squish him? But since all of the other dogs are old, they had to have their teeth cleaned, and all of them at least had 2 removed. So let's go over them.
Woo! Shiny teeth and me.
Sassy here is about 11 years old, and she had to have 2 teeth pulled, and she had a cyst on the back of her that was like full of pus, and she kept messing with it, so we had that removed, but luckily it was very easy to remove, and the stitches are out, and it's all healed now. Are you showing off your teeth? She's a very pretty girl, isn't she? Isn't she? Little Bit here is around the same age, and he also had to have 2 teeth pulled. Coco here is not even our dog. She's my sister's dog that we have been taking care of for about a year now. Because where my sister is currently living, she just... Are you okay? Are you dying? Because where my sister is currently living, she just can't have her at the moment. So we have been taking care of her and got her teeth cleaned, and she had to have 3 teeth pulled. But considering that she's going to be, I think, 14 this year, yeah, elderly's got no teeth! Blackie here is around the same age as Sassy and Little Bit. Oh, that's the spot. And he had the worst teeth of all. He actually had to have 6 teeth pulled. So he eats tiny mushy food, don't ya? And then we have Chibette here, who actually didn't have anything happen to her, but showing all the other animals, so she gets to be in here too.
Cats hate you. Cats are miserable. They're genuinely miserable creatures. They don't have a lot of joy in their lives. Cats act out because of us. Cats act out because of a combination of self-loathing and a resentment towards humans for creating what they are. They genuinely want us to die. I mean, it's cool if you own a cat. That's great. Awesome. But like, they shed everywhere. They hate you. They never appreciate anything that you do for them. They hate us.
but not least, we have Pal, who had 2 teeth pulled, and he's around the same age as Sassy, Little Bit, and Blackie is. Now, you may be wondering, why does he have a cone of shame on him? And that's because, just like Sassy, he had a cyst on him, except his was on his tail, and it was ginormous. It was like around this big. And we just thought, while he's under anesthesia, might as well just have his cyst removed after he's had his teeth done. Except, unlike Sassy's, his cyst was apparently hard to remove because it was like hard and callous and bleh. So he had to have his tail wrapped up for 2 days. But after we unwrapped his tail, it got infected. And when they cleaned it all up, it honestly looked like a giant open wound. You could see like some muscle, and yeah, it was not good. And while he was eating good, he was not drinking normally. I had to give him water with a turkey baster because he wouldn't drink water any other way. And the vet basically just said it was because he was mad that he had to wear the cone. And even though he had pain medicine, his tail was still causing him a lot of pain. Like, you could just barely go like that on his tail and he would jerk back. And I've never seen him in that much pain before. And if it wouldn't get better, we were actually thinking that we had to just cut his tail off.
A2.
Okay, post-edit. As you can see, Pal is now out of the cone. He got the last of the stitches out of his tail. And it'll look better once, the fur has grown back on it and stuff like that. We did exactly as the vet said. Put his tail under cold running water for 15 minutes, followed by cream, and do that for a while. We did it, and now he's pretty much all better. And hey, I'm so glad you got to keep your tail, and you're not hurting no more. Are you glad? I'll take that as a yes. So now that we're all caught up with the dogs, let's talk about all of my things. Oh boy. So before surgery, I got to talk with the anesthesiologist. And yes, I did bring up anesthesia awareness. And when I did, he just kind of looked at me for a second like,
"You stupid child."
And then he said, "Oh, you're not gonna have that." And how do you know, my dude? And oh, you probably won't even remember going back into the operating room. Well, I do remember going back into the operating room. They had an IV in my hand, and it was actually hurting. Like, it left a bruise. They laid me down on the table, put the mask on me, and then they had me stretch out my arms on the side of the table. So I was just uncomfortable all around. I was like, my hand's hurting, I'm doing starfish over here. When is this anesthesia gonna kick in already? And then the surgery was over and I woke up. And the nurse gave me chocolate pudding.
First course is first course, pudding is pudding, don't mix them up. If you combine them, first course and pudding, it tastes like luck.
So apparently no anesthesia awareness for me, and the anesthesiologist was right. Oh, but if he had been wrong though. So what you're probably thinking is, okay, they fixed your torn meniscus, and then everything was all better. Oh, no. No. What, did you think the MRI gave them how do you hold things? What, do you think the MRI gave them accurate results?
Can you read? What are you, stupid?
When the doctor got in there, apparently, my meniscus was totally fine. Yeah.
Disgusted, I am revolted, I dedicate my entire life to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and this is the thanks I get?
These are where my trust issues come from. He said what actually happened was my kneecap was out of place, and it was being kept out of place by a bunch of tissue. So they broke up the tissue, and now my kneecap is in its proper place.
Who tore up the Kleenex? Gnarly. Did you do that? Who tore that Kleenex up? Casey? Casey, did you tear the Kleenex up?
Yeah, my dad was not happy about it, because although my knee is now fixed, they still did a completely different surgery than what we thought they were going to do. And it's really hard to make proper decisions if you don't even know what's happening. I asked the surgeon, like, how, why, what? And he basically just told me, sometimes MRIs aren't accurate. So, anyway, I had my whole leg bandaged up for 2 days. And when I finally took the bandages off, I saw that I got cool little scars. So I rested it and recovered, walked on crutches and all that jazz, and then I finally went to physical therapy. And every time I go physical therapy, I pretty much feel like this. And quick story. So I did my first checkup with the doctor after 2 weeks before I got to do my physical therapy. And I was sitting in a wheelchair because I ain't walking. And one of the receptionists, I think, she might have been a nurse, but she was doing receptionist type stuff, so I don't know. I overheard her talking with the doctor. Why is she in a wheelchair? And I was like,
Say ooh. Say ooh.
and she came out and said, why are you in a wheelchair? You need to walk on it. And I was like, and yes, I know they want you to walk after any leg surgery as soon as possible so your leg doesn't freeze and lock up and all that jazz. Preparing to go to physical therapy anyway, so I just smiled and nodded, boys. I smiled and nodded. So we were just going through those motions, doing physical therapy, doing knee exercises, and all that good stuff, and then nothing bad happened at all. Except I woke up one day, 4 in the morning, with the frickin' kidney stone.
Are we talking percentage? Because at least 30% if we
I don't
include...
care for man meat.
Look, you clearly got off at the wrong bus stop, so why don't you... Okay, but why though?
Oh my goodness, I've had kidney stones before, but never was it like this. First of all, I felt extremely nauseous. Like if I just talked, the stuff was just gonna fly. And on top of that, it caused me all of the pain. I had to go to the ER and sitting there on the bed, writhing in pain. Me having surgery was brought up, and then the nurses asked, oh, what kind of surgery did you have? And I told them the knee and told them what was wrong with it, and they were very sympathetic. They were like, oh, that sounds painful. And I was like, boy, I don't even feel my knee. They gave me a urine test to see if I actually did have a kidney stone. And you know how in the ER room they have a little toilet in there? Yeah, I used that with the nurse in the room, and I did not give a single flip. And I asked, is there a possibility that it's stuck? Because I have never had one hurt that bad. And then the nurse said, oh, it's too small to get stuck. It'll be fine. Do you know what size it is? Do you have x-ray vision? But I didn't question it. I believed it. Placebo effect. Help me now. I asked the doctor how long it would take for the results to come up because I was dying. And he said, oh, about an hour or two. And I was like... And he said, well, in the meantime, I guess we can give you some morphine. And I was like, yes. You know how Jane Animation, she had this whole bit?
Within seconds, my body started feeling better, and all of my hives cleared up immediately. If you've never almost died from an allergic reaction, I totally hope you have one just so you can experience the magic of an EpiPen. I mean, I hope you never almost die. But I'm just saying, if you do...
Okay, similar thing here. I hope none of you ever have that terrible pain, but if you do, I kind of want you to have it just so you can know the absolute joy of being in that much pain and then getting that morphine. Normally, I'm not the kind of person that likes taking pain medicine because they usually make me very lightheaded and just dizzy, high feeling. But when you are in that much pain, it is the best thing ever. But after like 2-3 days, I did pass it, no problem whatsoever. Out of all the kidney stones I've had, I've never noticed when I've passed it either. So, there was that. What was this video about again? Oh yeah, I had knee surgery. My knee is not totally better. I still have some pain doing certain things. And every so often it'll keep like locking up. Basically imagine you have your knee bent and you try to straighten it, but it won't do it. And then it'll hurt for a second, then you can finally straighten it. Yeah, it does that. And the physical therapist said that, yeah, there's probably a bunch of scar tissue there. So to get rid of the tissue, they gave me more tissue. And the locking up or feeling like it's gonna give out and stuff, that can last up to a year. And my surgeon confirmed that. So, yay me. But at least I got some wicked looking scars out of it. Wanna see?
All right, have any of you ever seen a dead body that's been in the sun for 3 weeks? No. All right, take a look at this then.
So I already had a scar on this knee from something that happened years and years ago, totally unrelated. But now it has friends. Bailey, do you want attention? Huh? So I had stitches coming out from pretty much the middle line. And on this one, when he took the stitches out, it didn't really hurt that bad. But this one, I clenched. I clenched a wee bit. But at least now I can finally walk without crutches and get around a lot easier than I could. My knee basically feels like how it did before surgery, almost. But I'm sure as time goes on, it'll get better and better. Just like your tail, boy. Huh? Are you sweepy? So yeah, guys, that was the huge update video. I'm fine. Dogs are fine. Everyone's fine.
Hooray! Everyone's a winner!
So, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for some real videos. Gonna say bye, Bailey? Bye!